Ryan Reynolds literally killed someone on his set. They decided to have her do a stunt without a helmet.
Stunt woman lost her life while filming a motorcycle scene for Deadpool 2.
After the stunt set, you was gone through a window, severe injury.
I guess they wanted to sweep this one under the rug.
I just really want people to know, like, that wasn't supposed to happen, and so sorry.
Ryan Reynolds is obsessed with the Deadpool franchise. It is his baby and he would do anything to protect it. There's literally nothing that means more to him than Deadpool, which is why when someone died on his set during an accident that was horrific and could have been avoided, they're going to do everything they can to protect this movie at all cost. So let's get into it. When I came across this story, I knew I want to make this video because we don't give stunt actors and actresses enough credit. It's always the big movie stars who take the credit, but someone died while on the set of Deadpool 2. Now, it takes a certain person to be a stunt actor or actress because I personally am not a thrill seeker, so you will not see me riding in motorcycles, jumping off any buildings. That is not my vibe. But Saquana Joy Cook Harris had been riding motorcycles for 8 years when the career opportunity of a lifetime came along. Saquana is so talented, they made an exception to bring an American performer onto set. It stars, of course, Ryan Reynolds and a bunch of other Canadian people, and they brought her all the way from Brooklyn, New York to Vancouver. According to her website, Saquana received her racing license in 2013 and began racing in 2014. She described herself as the first African-American woman to compete in an American Motorcyclist Association sanctioned event. So she's really into the lore and the niche of it, or she was. The stunt performed on a much powerful motorcycle than what she raced on the track while doing Deadpool 2, and this was her first job in film. Now, Saquana, who also went by, I believe, Joy, which is her middle name, and SJ, had died on set of Deadpool 2 after a scene involving a motorcycle went very wrong. Witness told the outlet that the stunt woman lost control of the bike during a stunt, jumped a curb, and crashed through a plate glass window at Shaw Tower. She was reportedly treated by an ambulance personnel, but police said she died on the scene. According to the news, she narrowly missed 2 pedestrians when she lost control of the bike. What's unfortunate is that this was after 4 attempts at already doing the same stunt, and they were successful too. So I guess she did this over and over and over again. They got their shots, but they asked her to do one more, and it was the 5th one that ended up in this accident. People were running on the sidewalk. The motorcycle comes flying across the street. Looks like it's from a ramp because it was in the air. The rider was standing on the bike, slamming into that building, clearly out of control and not planned. Eyewitnesses told the outlet that the stunt driver completed several rehearsals of the stunt, which involved driving a motorcycle down 2 ramps across several stairs earlier that morning. She came out, went down the 2 flights of stairs, and it looked like she kind of hit the throttle because she picked up speed. She was going then full throttle, noting that it appeared as if the driver missed 2 pedestrians during the failed stunt. It's believed that she was acting as a stunt double for the Atlanta star Zazie Beetz, playing Domino in the movie, as she was seen riding the same model of motorcycle last week. There were some news people on the scene. This guy Ben posted on Twitter, "Stunt person hurt on set of Deadpool 2 loaded into advanced life support ambulance that hasn't moved. Anxious crew looking on." You know what's worse than getting injured? Fighting with the insurance company afterwards. They will often stall, delay, and lowball you because their goal is to pay you as little as possible because they are not on your side. That's where Morgan & Morgan comes in. They are the largest injury law firm in America with over 1,000 attorneys and millions of clients served. They've secured billions of dollars for settlements and verdicts, including a $26 million payout in Philadelphia, 40 times more than what the insurance company originally offered. And the best part about Morgan & Morgan is that they don't charge anything up front. There is no consulting fee, there's no hourly rate, there's no hidden cost by going and getting them to help you out. So if you've been hurt in an accident, Morgan & Morgan has your back if you become their client. You can go to forthepeople.com/Sloan or scan the QR code on the screen to start your claim now. You probably could get it submitted before this video is even over with, and it's not going to hurt to go and figure out how much you are owed. Thank you, Morgan & Morgan, for sponsoring this video, and enjoy. Now, this guy Nathan, who works on the 7th floor of the building that I guess she crashed into, said he watched rehearsals for the stunt outside the center. This stunt woman had been riding the motorcycle down a set of stairs from the center and had stopped when she reached the street. But on the occasion when the accident happened, the driver appeared to pick up speed, cross the street, and swerve to avoid the pedestrians before disappearing from view. So that's why she would have crashed, because she was avoiding these pedestrians. Another witness said that she had walked into a Starbucks next door where the accident happened, which I'm guessing, are there just a bunch of like pedestrians in the middle of this like dangerous vehicle, like stunt? Vehicular, whatever you want to call it, motorcycular. I mean, they're doing this stunt in the middle of a city and there's a bunch of pedestrians, and like our girl had to go and swerve them, which is what caused this accident. And this woman said that she heard the loud crash. She ran outside and saw a glass falling on the body of the motorcycle driver. Keep in mind, the Sun Vancouver reported that this happened at like around 8 a.m. So people are going to work, they're going to the Starbucks. Like, how busy was this city whenever this happened? This was her first film as a stunt performer, according to Deadline, which she was reportedly not wearing a helmet during this scene because her character does not wear a helmet.
We've obtained the police radio dispatch made after a stunt woman lost her life while filming a motorcycle scene for Deadpool 2.
After an stunt sailor has gone through a window, severe injuries.
The audio captures the terrifying moments after Joy S.J. Harris crashed through a ground floor window in Vancouver, British Columbia. Her motorcycle was left lying on the ground, surrounded by shattered glass.
The stunt actor was airborne through the building.
The Brooklyn native was touted as being the first licensed African-American woman in U.S. history to compete in sanctioned motorcycle road racing events. On YouTube, she posted video of wiping out in a race in 2015. She wrote, "Lesson learned, always focus on your own ride." Just 3 days ago, she posted this photo, feeling fantastic in Vancouver, British Columbia.
Now, Fox put out a statement immediately. "We are deeply saddened by the accident that occurred on the set of Deadpool 2 this morning. Our hearts and prayers are with the family, friends, and colleagues of our crew members during this difficult time." Now, Shaquana Joy, she was well known in racing. I mean, she was the first Black woman in this kind of sport. So people are going to talk about how this incident could have been prevented. She was a highly qualified motorcyclist racer, but not an experienced stunt person. She was riding a much larger motorcycle than what she had typically trained on. And as you heard, a lot of the eyewitnesses on the scene said that she had sped up before she got into the air and crashed into a building. They say that she was totally unqualified and should not have been there or put in that position. Shaquana Joy Harris had never been in a film or done any kind of stunt. She just liked to ride motorcycles and road race. Also, it reminds me of that clip we played where she says she learned a lesson. You have to focus on your own ride. Imagine she having to do such an intense stunt and then have so many people around her, she could easily lose focus. Now, this guy Steve, who's part of the Stuntmen's Association, said that because she's a racer doesn't mean she's a stunt performer. She doesn't understand this world. Racers learn how to move quickly and avoid crashes. Stunt performers learn how to craft stunts that often emulate dangerous situations, but they also learn how to abandon those situations before it becomes fatal, which sounds so scary. Shout out to all those stunt actors out there. Some believe that she was actually hired because of her ethnicity, because she's Black, and because there's not a lot of stunt performers who are Black and can ride motorcycles like she can. A lot of times they do this thing they call painting down, where they darken people's skin. I feel like I know the word for that. It's called blackface, right? Blackface. Either way, they want to hire her because, she's the real deal. But there's a problem here. There's a lack of representation in Hollywood. I think they wanted to believe that she also was a performer, but also did not consider that she's now doing this first stunt on her first film ever, which is a crazy high budget film. One stunt coordinator who spoke with a Deadpool 2 crew member says producers risked her life by wanting this character to have a racially correct double, which I can understand why you would want your stunt actor to be the same race as your main actor, but the producers put pressure to have somebody of the same sex and ethnicity in the position that wasn't qualified to be in. The stunt coordinators caved to the pressure. All the stunt people could do was take it to their higher ups. They're going to follow the chain of their command. Unfortunately, she wasn't the only stunt person to die that year. In July, a stuntman, John Bernecker, died after falling on the set of The Walking Dead. That is so scary. Like, what kind of fall did he have that he died? A lot of people felt like production did not invest in safety. Like, create a helmet that has hair coming out of it if you don't want the character to wear like a helmet. You know, you got to protect your stunt people as well. A stunts person who trained with Suquanna Joy Harris said, "I cringed every time that she went out. Like, is she gonna crash?" They said, and they ended up leaving the film after producers failed to listen to their concerns. They said they were warned. Yes. According to the crew, it turns out that she was actually the second choice for the stunt because the first hire struggled on the motorcycle.
You guys did also have a very tragic thing happen on set. How did you handle that and come together as a cast?
It really rocked our boat, and still is. It changed a lot in our production, changed a lot in the film. That week we shut down production for a few days and then we came together, and it actually really did bring the cast sort of to the same place, and we had a memorial for her, and yeah, it was very sad. Yeah, it was a very strange time, and still is. Like, it still is staying with us, and yeah. So, and for the stunt community too, there, like, I don't know. I just want to say, like, we're really proud of our stunt team, and they're a fantastic team, and I just really I just really want people to know, like, that wasn't supposed to happen, and they're a really good team. So sorry.
Good. I hate to make you
No,
mad.
it's okay.
But it is. It's this. You forget that there are people behind the scenes doing things,
Yeah.
you know, and it is such an important work.
And they just mean a lot. So it's been, yeah. We've also, like, come together for it, and, like, so. But I'm just, like, I'm proud of our crew, and, you know, I pray for Joy's family, and, you know, she was a domino, and so I feel, like, kind of connected to her in that way, and you know, the first Black, like, professional motorcyclist, and so yeah, so she lives with us, and I think she will in the film.
Now, Ryan Reynolds, of course, put out a statement. "Today we tragically lost a member of our crew while filming Deadpool. We're heartbroken, shocked, and devastated, but recognize nothing can come close to the grief and the pain her family and loved ones must feel at this moment. My heart pours out to them, along with each and every person she touched in this world." Now, because a life was lost, the government decided to do an investigation. And to add on top of that opinion piece we went through, the government investigators concluded the fatality was due to inadequate planning and other safety violations by filmmakers, and it wasn't the writer's error. While she was performing the stunts, 2 other stunt performers and a picture card technician later told an organization that they had observed that she was grabbing or stabbing the front brake on the transition ramp over the stairs, making the Ducati unstable. A second transition ramp was added to allow her to have more space to brake safely. At 8:14 a.m. on August 14th, 2017, she was inside the Vancouver Convention Center's front doors preparing to do the staircase stunt. When the crew called action, the stunt performers began to walk around outside the convention center. She rode the Ducati through the doors and narrowly missing a stuntman outside, causing him to drop an ice cream cone as for what the script called for. Also, am I saying Ducati right? I feel like I always mispronounce things like this. I think I am, right? I pulled up in a Ducati. That's like that song. Or that's Bugatti. But whenever she transitioned onto the first ramp during the stunt, the front wheel became airborne, and as the rear wheel landed, it looks like she pulled on the throttle instead of stopping, so she accelerated and lost control. She continued to gain speed, and as she crossed the second ramp, it went airborne. She clung to the motorcycle's handlebars, but her body was bounced from the motorcycle. Her feet slipped from its foot pegs. The motorcycle shot into the street, striking a median and throwing her. She hit 3 branches outside of this tower before crashing through one of the glass-plated windows and striking her head against the window frame. Ouch. So that thing really threw her if she went through a tree. Then she went through a glass building. I mean, I'm sure if you've been to a city before, you see these buildings have like glass walls and you're kind of like, oh, why is it like glass? Like, can't people just break in? It's really hard to break those. But if you're throwing a full-size person at extremely fast speed at this window, then I guess it can break. And it looks like this is where the curb where she had like flung off, and that's the building she had gone through. And actually that glass doesn't look as hard to break as I thought, but imagine she hit her head on one of those frames. Oh, poor woman. Paramedics arrived around 8:23 a.m., but at that point she had passed away.
Now, how did we let this slip by that a stunt person died on the set of Deadpool 2 because she wasn't wearing a helmet? Who approved that? Like, it's actually mind-boggling reading through the articles because I don't recall any of this coming out or anyone really talking about it back in 2019. But yes, essentially, I guess they wanted to sweep this one under the rug because, yes, someone did in fact die trying to perform a stunt. Now, this person was a very trained motorcyclist. That is not what the issue was here. This all had to do with safety and precaution. And I'm not saying it's all Ryan's fault, but when we look at who directed the film, so I'm looking at you, David, and Rhett Reese, and Paul Wernick, and Ryan Reynolds, why would you ever allow for someone to do a stunt like that without the proper safety protocol?
So the employer is at fault here. Quote, the employer failed to complete important health and safety documentation, including a stunt safety inspection checklist and a production activity notification checklist as required by its own health and safety program. Crew members for the sequel said producers put pressure on her, who had raced professionally but never worked on a film, to perform the day's stunt and to be a stand-in for this main actress, Zazie Beetz. Two makeup artists later told investigators that the wig she wore would have hidden safety headgear from the camera and that she was not wearing a lanyard to pull either of the two kill switches in case she was ejected from the vehicle, or the motorcycle rather. So there's like, I guess kind of like, it reminds you of like a treadmill. Like, you know, when you're on a treadmill and you got the red thing and it pulls off and you just stop abruptly. I'm assuming that's kind of what the kill switch would be in this situation. Deadpool was released in May 2018 and went on to gross $785 million. And the movie does include credits, a dedication to Sequana Harris, who also went by Joy. Half these articles were calling her Joy. So at least they did give her a little shout out. It's the least they could do. And of course, the family is going to take Fox to court over her passing. Now, the amount of settlement was not disclosed, but it looks like they settled rather quickly, which in my opinion just shows that they probably did pay them a hefty amount to try to, like, you know, keep them at bay. But it's so unfortunate that their family member had died. Another source with knowledge of the settlement confirmed that the matter had been handled successfully. It's been resolved, which I'm sure Fox really doesn't want that bad press, that bad news. So they're going to probably pay up a lot just to quiet everyone. A stunt performer said, I think that Joy's family deserve a large settlement, but how do you put a price on your daughter's head? No money in the world is worth what happened. Her death was senseless and could have been avoided. I'm glad the family got something. This should have never happened. An attorney for the family said that unfortunately, Sequana, Joy's mom, lost the only person in this world who was there for her. Her husband had died a few years ago. It's a very sad situation. Now, I found this TikTok I want to play for you guys. A stunt double was killed in Deadpool because Ryan Reynolds and crew decided she should do the stunt without a helmet, and they stopped the family from suing the Deadpool franchise. But Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively and Jenny Slate think it's okay to sue someone over being nice and calling it. So, yeah, it seems like whenever you get into trouble, every skeleton in your closet's going to come about.
I just saw a video about someone dying on the set of Deadpool. Now, they settled out of court. They were not sued because the movie company, I think it was 20th Century Fox, they decided to settle with the person who was going to sue them because they literally killed an African-American woman on set because they decided to have her do a stunt without a helmet. Ryan Reynolds literally killed someone on his set. And he literally thinks that his wife, who you can see in video footage, is definitely not being harassed in any way, shape, or form, has the right to sue another movie company and producer and director. Like, dude literally killed someone. They settled and paid her family out of court so that it wouldn't get public attention.
This person commented, now, wait a minute. Alec Baldwin was dragged for a loaded gun that was a prop. He was the, well, he thought it was a prop. He was the actor. Why isn't Ryan being dragged the same? He made a corporate decision. Another person added, it could be that good PR team he's got working for him. Another person writes, if it's true, this would be black victim number 3 of Ryan Reynolds that we know of, after the gay black makeup artist and Jamie Heath. Another person writes, heard someone died shooting Deadpool. They made the story disappear just like they tried to make JB disappear. Another comment reads, it's crazy. Cases like this one should automatically go to court. They let unresponsible criminal people get away with this accident, and it was the only one. Now, it looks like Deadpool 2 was fined nearly $300,000 for safety violations. Nothing compared to the almost $800 million they made. And it wasn't even $300. It was $289,000, which a lot of money, but not for Deadpool. One person wrote on Reddit that that's a pretty small fine considering that they had taken a life. Another person replied, damn right, her family wouldn't be too stoked. Another person writes, and I bet whatever the settlement is, they would rather have their daughter back. Workplace safety is no joke. The movie industry takes it as a joke way too often. Now, this happened in 2017, but there was a random update in 2020. I guess kind of confirming what we all knew. I mean, they're deeming her death accidental. So it's not like homicide, which I don't think it's that similar to the Alec Baldwin situation where he did like just point blank shoot someone. But it seems like 3 years after the incident, the coroner service says, in light of an assessment and violations by the WorkSafe BC, a government organization, I believe, it's not making any further recommendations as far as like investigating or charging anyone with any crimes. It probably also helps that the family had settled privately and there's no one there to go and challenge in honor of her. But what a sad story. Stunt people are looked over way too often. So shout out to all those stunt actors and actresses. Please stay safe out there. And I feel like anyone who's on production sets, if you see something, say something. That's what they say at the airport over the TSA. If you see something, say something. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye guys.